He's not so much of a family guy, is he? Hey everybody, Keep Living a Kai writer Nathan here, and today I'll be discussing top 10 reasons why Lois Pewterschmidt-Griffin from Family Guy should file for divorce against Peter Griffin. Number 10. His drinking problem made her codependent. I'm straight edge in real life. I don't drink alcohol. I used to drink wine coolers back when I was living in Oklahoma with my aunt and uncle before they broke up, and I had to stop because my dad thinks that I shouldn't have alcohol with my medication. One of Peter's most dominant traits is his alcoholism, and Peter is a regular at the Drunken Clam where he hangs out with his friends all the freaking time. Plus, there's also the fact he works at Pawtucket Brewery, which does not help matters whatsoever. He has a very intimate relationship with booze. And he freaking gets too drunk to even function properly, and Lois has to take care of his fat ass. The very first episode of the show is basically Peter getting so drunk, extremely drunk at a stag party, after promising Lois that he won't drink. He even engages in the ever so clever drinking game, Drink the Beer. He never shows signs of getting help for his drinking, or even just cutting back on it. Number 9. He turned the family into drug dealers. In the episode Farmer Guy, the Griffins go into hiding when crime skyrockets in Quahog, and they move to a farm to live the rural life. But life on the farm isn't as easy as it sounds, and they later discover that there is a drug lab in the basement, and Peter convinces them to start making and dealing crystal meth in order to earn money. Number 8. He compared her body to old, broken down equipment. Yeah, this episode really took a hit towards Lois' self-esteem. He puts her down all the time, and it's a goddamn miracle she doesn't file for divorce. In the episode, Lois comes out of her shell. During her birthday party, Peter makes a speech about how he's basically makes a very hurtful speech, basically comparing Lois's body to broken down equipment, and she has a meltdown. She basically went through a midlife. As a result, she goes through a midlife crisis, and it should have sent her running for the hills. Number 7. He accidentally threw hot grease at her face. In the episode Petarded, Peter is tested positive for being a mentally inept retard, and he's gotten away with a lot of bad behavior due to this. He takes advantage of the situation by starting a Bible fight at church, barging into women's bathrooms, and causing trouble wherever he goes, all while blaming it on being mentally challenged. His worst offense is when he jumps over the counter of a fast food restaurant, and he spots the deep fryer. Oh shit, the deep fryer. And when he uproots it, he winds up burning Lois extremely badly with frying oil. And while Lois is recovering in the hospital looking like an Egyptian mummy, Peter loses custody of his children due to being mentally inept to be a parent. He's an insult to all of us intellectually challenged people. I have both autism and Asperger's syndrome, and I managed to graduate high school with passing grades. Number 6. He brought plagues onto his family. In the episode If I'm Dying, I'm Lying, Peter claims that his son Chris is deathly ill in order to get his favorite TV show back on the air, and then claims to have miraculously healed him. As if that wasn't selfish enough, when his neighbors start to praise him like a god, Peter revels in the attention. This leads to the plagues striking his family, like Stewie's bathwater turning into blood, frogs raining from the sky, etc. As Brian puts it, God is pissed. Despite everyone telling him to tell the truth, Peter refuses to until Chris is almost killed in the process. Number 5. He's constantly committing crimes. Peter turning his family into drug dealers is pretty bad, but Lois didn't find that as a surprise because Peter is always breaking the law on a regular basis, such as theft, dryland piracy, and even murder. There was the one time in the episode Pretoria where he declares war against the U.S., in one episode, he and his friends Joe, Cleveland, and Quagmire end up killing an innocent hook-handed war hero working at the insane asylum. And in the episode Peter's Mother, where he gives his mother's friend Miriam a hug and ends up breaking her back and killing her in the process. Whoopsie. Number 4. He forced her to gain so much weight she had a heart attack. In the episode Sibling Rivalry, after Peter undergoes a vasectomy, but not before making a donation to the local sperm bank, you'd think Peter of all people would be understanding when Lois started gaining weight, but he'd be dead wrong. he ruthlessly insults her, that is, until he discovers the wonders of fat sex. Then he encourages her to gain weight, which is even worse than him putting her down. He insists she get fatter, and then she literally stuffs her face with cake. She gains so much weight that she has a heart attack and almost dies, but that does not stop Peter from having sex with her. Number 3, he's an abusive and negligent father. If the way Peter treats Lois isn't enough to have her find a divorce lawyer, it's the way he treats Meg, Chris, and Stewie that probably should. In various episodes, Peter is often seen shoving his daughter Meg's ass into his ass and then farting on it, which is disgusting as hell. The way Peter treats his children is appalling at best. He frequently makes Chris feel insecure about himself. He got Stewie hooked on steroids, and of course there was the one time where he threw an unconscious and severely injured Stewie underneath the wheels of Lois's car, so she would think he was the one who ran him over. And then he hits Megan with a baseball bat in one episode. Number 2, he tried to shoot her. In the episode Family Guy, after finding out that Lois is of Hebrew descent, Peter tries to shoot her. So not only is he guilty of attempted murder of his own spouse, but he's also guilty of an anti-Semitic hate crime to boot. And that's a loving husband right there, am I right? Eesh. As Lois is walking around to get the mail, Peter watches her through the scope of a sniper rifle and takes a shot at her. Lois freaks out, but Peter acts nonchalant about this. Seriously, how many times must Peter try to ice his own wife until she decides to file for divorce? Number 1, he tried to drown her. Yeah, this is seriously disturbing. In the episode The Courtship of Stewie's Father, Peter finds out that he can make Stewie laugh by hurting Lois. After finding out that they have something in common by causing Lois harm, Peter and Stewie go on a rampage abusing her. They smash a jar of pickles over her head, assault her with a garden hose, and even trap her in the trunk of her car only to drown her. If it were up to the creators and I were helping with the Family Guy, there would be an episode in where Lois would file for divorce, get Peter arrested, take custody of Meg, Chris, Stewie, claim ownership of Brian, and file a restraining order against Peter. Next time I will be discussing the top 10 reasons why Homer Simpson from The Simpsons should be arrested. This is Key Web Mackay writer Nathan signing off. Ciao!